Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Sergey and I'm the owner of Sergey Green Studio. We provide photography and videography here in Los Angeles. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about very important thing that all the brides should follow and should have. And that is your wedding day checklist. Why am I making this video? I'm making this video to make sure that we can actually get the best photos and videos. We can get the best footage from your wedding. How we can achieve that? First of all, we can achieve that by making sure that everything is there for us. And second thing, we can achieve that by making sure that our bride is just relaxed. She just enjoy her day, drinking cold champagne, listening to beautiful music, chatting with her friends, and not worrying about anything. Where on the opposite side, we can have a bride who just constantly texting and calling people because things haven't arrived on time. So we obviously don't want to do that. So what we want to do, we want to prepare on time for everything. We want to make sure that everything is prepared like few days before the wedding. I made quite a long list over here, but it's pretty simple, I have to say, and you will see that there is nothing complicated. I also want to clarify that there is no pressure from this list or anything. If you would forget anything, that's not a night and day difference or anything. You still can have a beautiful wedding day if you would complete, let's say, like 80% of this list. So the main idea of this list is to make sure you actually relaxed, that you done the work before your wedding day. So on your actual wedding day, you don't have to really run around. So anyway, without any further ado, let's get started. And first of all, we would start with the bridal details, of course. And what do I mean by that over here? You want to make sure that in a large box, you're going to have all of the details for your photographer and the videographer. And what do we need? We need your invitations, ideally 2 sets, the open one and closed one, so we can photograph them side by side. We want to make sure that we have your shoes, jewelry, all of the details, and most importantly, rings. I cannot tell you how many times we would go to the getting ready portion of the wedding, and the wedding band in the engagement ring is that the bridal suite and the wedding band of the groom is somewhere there. We start searching for it. Turns out that the best man has it and the best man is getting late. So basically we cannot really shoot properly the details without his ring. Of course we do that, but the ring is not there. So you want to make sure that everything is there. Also, small things like, let's say, a couple of ribbons with the color of your wedding and a few other stuff. I'll attach a couple of photos so you can have an idea what you should have there. Same thing goes for the groom. All of the details that groom can have. His tie, watch, cuff links, belt, shoes, everything. Really, everything that we can photograph during the guys getting ready. Again, I will attach a couple of photos so you can see it. Third thing that you want to have your flowers from the early morning. And it's unfortunately kind of a common thing too, that the flowers arriving to the first look, or sometimes even not until the actual reception. But what we want to have these flowers on the details shot. We also love using the flowers as a background for your rings shot and a few other things. It's also a very lovely thing to have the shots of someone putting the boutonnieres on the guys. So again, we need this flowers there on time. 4 things. Hangers. Very common thing, actually. You want to have the beautiful hanger for the wedding dress, of course, and do not overstress it. You don't really have to have the hangers like a custom hanger with your dates or names. If you order it, beautiful. If you don't have time, just order the nice wooden hanger from the Amazon, so it's going to look good. What you don't want to have, you don't want to have the plastic hanger, or you don't want to have the hanger from the hotel. They are slightly different. They have a slightly different construction, so we cannot really use them. And same goes for the bridal dresses and for your mom dress. Let's say everything, for all of the dresses you want to have us on the photos. You want to have same color, same design hangers for all of the dresses. Again, it's a very common thing. Just make sure that they are there. Also for the flower girls, again, for all of the dresses you want to have on the photos. Fifth thing, since we talked about all of these details, and I know it's not always possible, but still, when you choose a hotel, try to look at it from the photography and videographer perspective. And it's actually pretty simple. Try to choose the photogenic hotel with the large enough windows, with a nice design in the room. Again, if you have a choice. If you don't have a choice, that's absolutely okay. We have our own light. We can place it where we want it, and that's going to be fine. But if you have a choice, think about the hotel from the perspective point of view. And the other little thing, if you checking in, try to keep one of the sides clean, so we can shoot towards it. Of course, you don't have to overstress about it. We'll do all of the things ourselves if needed. But at the same time, if you can have one side of the wall or something like that clean, that would be easier for us. Point number 6, and that looks absolutely beautiful on the pictures, and that's the gift. Again, you don't really have to. You're not obligated to buy the gifts for your bridesmaids and the groomsmen, but it's a very beautiful thing in general. It's a very nice gesture, and it also looks incredibly good on photos. Girls love receiving them. The guys have the beautiful reaction. Even it's a small thing, it just looks great. And also make sure if you presenting these gifts, make sure that your photographer and videographer is there as well. Another very cool thing is the gift exchange. Again, it could be a very small thing. Gift exchange is when the bride asking her bridesmaids to go to the groom and give him a gift. And same, the groom asking his best man to send a gift to the bride. It's a very beautiful thing. There's laughing tears during that process. It's a very cool picture for us to capture. Point number 7, written down vows. I know it's a very common thing these days to have your vows on the phone, but here's the problem. It doesn't look nice, to be honest, on the photos, and it doesn't look nice on the ceremony itself. It's much nicer if you have the beautiful looking notepad or something like that, or a very beautiful cute book that you open, and that when you're reading the vows from it, it looks great on the photos, it looks great on the videos. And it doesn't really look nice. I just have to be honest over here. It doesn't really look nice when the bride standing on the ceremony or the groom standing on the ceremony and holding the phone like that in front of them. And it's even funnier when the case is like a funny Hello Kitty thing. They just stand in there and reading it. Get this cute little book from the paper source, and there's tons of them on Amazon as well, and write your vows right there. And it's also great to have it in the box with all of the details. It just looks very good. Point number 8, very common thing again, and it's very important. Make sure that your robes steamed, that they don't have any wrinkles or anything. Again, few things here and there is absolutely fine, but it's kind of a common thing that these robes get unpacked right on the wedding day, and they all wrinkled. You can see this on the photos. Sometimes you can retouch it, but it's tons of work, to be honest. But on the video, you cannot really do anything about it. So you just want to make sure that they are steamed on the night before, or like a couple of days before, or something like that. But you want to make sure that they look nice. And since we started talking about the robes, what you also want to be aware of is the hairbands on hands, pens or other things. Just make sure it's a beautiful robe, it's steamed and it looks nice, and there is no like sweatpants underneath it and the hairbands or something like that. So it looks very nice and beautiful. Let's go further. This tip number 9, it's more again about your mood. If something would go wrong, let's say the something would happen with the dress or with your jewelry or with something else, make sure you have the repair kit. There is again tons of them on Amazon. Probably you're not going to use it, you're not going to open it, but if something would happen, you want to make sure that is there. Nothing else really to say about it here. Number 10, you want to have a nice playlist with the speaker. It's kind of interesting when you enter in the room and it's like quiet and like it's very, very chill. You want to have fun going on around. You want to make sure that the mood is there, and the music affects this tremendously. So choose your playlist, download it in advance. Sometimes there is not a good service in the getting ready place. Download it, bring the speaker, and make sure it's playing. Point number 11 is, of course, champagne. You want to make sure that the champagne is there. It's nice and cold, and you have a decent amount of it. Don't go crazy about it, but you want to make sure that it's there. Ideally, I want to see you with the cold champagne, smiling and laughing and chatting with your friends. So that's pretty much all I want to see, and we will take care of the rest of the things. Don't even worry about the rest of them. Point number 12, you want to make sure that your bridesmaids are ready before you, and they also want to know about it. You want to make sure that they are aware about it. Why is that? And I want to photograph them with you when you put in the dress on. So let's say you put in the dress on, right? We zip in the dress, and I want to have your beautiful bridesmaids completely ready with the makeup and hair and in the dresses, standing there helping you with the dress, like fluffing the dress, doing a few other things. I have a couple of things that I'm doing, and I definitely want to make sure that the bridesmaids are ready. It's a very common thing again when most of the bridesmaids are ready, but few of them not, and we cannot really have them on this beautiful photos that I have in mind. So make sure that they are aware of that. Point number 13, and that's very helpful throughout the wedding. You want to make sure that your maid of honor is helping you through the day. Like she can take your flowers from you, or she can help with your dress during the photo shoot, especially the sunset photos. It doesn't have to be necessarily the maid of honor. Usually you would have someone who's just willing to help you. There's people who just want to help other people. Because let's say your maid of honor, your best friend, but she's like a party girl. That would be hard to keep her next to you helping with the dress. She was probably going to be like partying, right? So you don't want to push on that. You want to make sure that you assign in the tasks to the person who most likely completed, right? Next point, number 14. You want to make sure that you have the family list. And not only you have it, you also have the person who is assigned for that task, who knows everyone. Because sometimes I'm receiving the family list, I'm looking at it, and I have tons of names over there, but I don't know anyone. And for me, it's hard to walk around and ask everyone if that's them or not. What you want to have someone who is loud enough, who is energetic enough, who would quickly gather everyone at the spot to do the family shots, and that would save tons of time, really. From my experience, and I've done like 500 weddings or so for the past 15 years, that's the best way of doing that. Point number 15, and that's mostly my suggestion. Again, you don't have to follow it, but do the first look. It saves so much time. It looks absolutely beautiful. Unless you're really against it, of course, don't do that. Let's say you want to see each other at the church, that you think that's the way you envision it, go for it. But if you're debating whether you should do the first look or not, then the answer is yes, do this. I have the separate video explaining why you should do this, so check it out. I'll list it somewhere over here. And so we can go to the next thing. Point 16, and I even highlighted over here. The sunset photos is must-have thing. We cannot move it on the timeline. We cannot shorten it. They are there. They're not movable. Even if your wedding is late, and 99% of the wedding are late, you want to make sure that you're doing the sunset photos. If you have your photographer and a videographer, you should have like minimum 40 minutes to get to the location, to do all of the shot and everything. That's the time when we're doing most of the beautiful shots of two of you. Again, I have the separate video about this topic, so I'm not gonna go too much on it. But there's lots of time when I'm coming to the bride and the groom and they saying like, oh, we're actually too tired and we want to hang out at the cocktail hour, or we just want to take a break before the grand entrance or something like that, or they just ate and they don't want to go out and do the sunset photos. I know that in the moment it might be tiring and you might be not in the mood, but the thing is, a couple days after you would forget it, but the photos not going to be there if you would skip it. It's incredibly important to follow your photographer's advice about this part. Again, I'm going too much on it, but it's incredibly important. And the last point, almost the last point, is know your timeline. Not like you don't have to memorize it or anything, but you want to make sure that you know when is your first look happening, what time is your ceremony, what time is your grand entrance, and what time is your sunset photos and things like that. You don't have to follow it if you have the wedding planner next to it. They would take care of it. Again, in my case, I'm also following the timeline and I'm making sure that my bride and the groom are aware of the different things that would go on during the wedding. I don't want my bride to be worrying about it. I'm carrying the timeline with me. But if you don't have the wedding planner and if you feel like your vendors not remind you about certain things, you want to make sure that you remember like the main points over there. Again, not over stress about it, just know the main things. And the last thing, and I'm really a fan of that, you might be disagree about it, but in my opinion, the bride doesn't need the cell phone on the wedding day. The bride doesn't need to text to or call to the vendors or reply to the calls or anything like that. Of course, someone from, let's say, the other country or someone who cannot attend the wedding, they would try to call and say a few nice words on the wedding day, your bridesmaid can carry it, and she can answer the phone, and if that's something important, she can send the message to you. But you don't want to have the phone on your wedding day carrying it around. That's again, that's my opinion, and I notice that the bride's more present if they don't have it. Same for the groom. The groom doesn't have to have it. The best man can have it, and send the messages if needed. The other thing, I mentioned all of the groom's details over here. If you can pass this message to the bride, to my grooms, and the best man's, that would be great. Do not have anything in your pockets. If you put your phone in the pocket like that, it's visible right over here, and all of it visible on the group shots, on the reception photos, and everything. Do not have anything in your pocket. That's probably the last thing. And that's, I think, pretty much it. All you have to know. Again, it's not mandatory. You don't really have to follow all of this like 100%. And the main idea is to prepare as much as possible to the wedding day, so you will be completely relaxed on the actual day, and everything gonna go like very smooth and nice, and you will be prepared for all of it, and you would enjoy it as much as you possibly can. Maybe like a couple of snacks for the champagne, cheese, fruits, this kind of things. That would be it. I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions, just leave them in the comments. I'll use them for my next video. Thank you guys again so much for watching and subscribing to my channel. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you next Friday. Thank you so much again for watching.